Hi, this week we're talking about what makes finding something that makes you want to move more. So, when you're thinking about this, it's not rocket science. Making finding what makes you want to move more is just a simple way of saying what movement makes you happy. So, for me, it is when I'm more fit, running. When I'm not so fit, walking. I enjoy a little bit of strength training, but I don't love it. Um, so it's good for you. I know that, so I keep doing it, but it isn't necessarily my joy. So I like hiking and foot pursuits, I guess, because I love being outside. So for me, and if you're lucky enough, you can have a garden where you get to do all your exercise outside for free. But personally, I don't have one. I live in a high-rise building, and I don't have the opportunity to do that, and trying to lug all of my weights to the park is a little bit much on a daily basis. So I prefer to do a little bit of strength training indoors and get out on foot as much as possible. Um, so that's what makes me want to move more. In terms of you, you may be different to me. Perhaps you hate being outside. Um, I don't get that, but that's fine. That's not my business. Everybody's different. Perhaps just don't like the gym environment. Perhaps you enjoy a class with a group of like-minded people. That's brilliant. I know one of the companies I used to work for had a brilliant community vibe, and it really meant that the women came in. It was a female-only space. The women came in and they could chat. They had constant catch-ups. Often went for coffee after. In fact, two of the companies I worked for have been the same, and it's a really nice way to get you out and about, and a really good option for your mental health. One was indoor, one was outdoor. Um, one was more boot camp style, one was more classes, and that's the sort of environment I myself am trying to build in Body.Engaged, because I think that um, sometimes the fitness is the byproduct of the activity that you do in the long run. So, and in that way, it makes it feel like less of a chore. So, in terms of finding what makes you want to move more, think about the environment you want to be in, the people you need to be around, or the no people. If you do, if you prefer an individual pursuit, then that might be more important to you. So, finding a space where you don't feel pressured, or you don't feel uh, that there's too many people talking to you at once or anything like that, then that might be more important. So think about what's best for your mental health at the same time as thinking about what's best for your physical health. When you're thinking about what makes you want to move more, think about the types of things that you need for your health. So we all need a little bit of endurance, or just more intense exercise in order to get our heart rate up. And we all need a little bit more strength. So whether that's built through body weight training, whether that's built through uh, strength training with weights, it doesn't have to be a full-on strength program. Just any resistance, either with weights or resistance bands, is great for your bone density and your general muscular strength and joints. You need to think about mobility. That's not just static stretching at the end of your exercise. So think about it as how your body moves when it is in motion. So do you find it difficult to do certain a squat, for example, into a chair because your hip flexors are tight, or your glutes and your lower back are a bit pained? So you need to think about how mobile you are in general activities as well as your fitness activities at the same time. So building on that and developing that area of your health. On top of that, one of the things, particularly as we get older and older, that we have to worry about is our balance. So, in terms of balance, think about it as anything from just walking walking will help with your balance, but also things like yoga or Pilates might help with your balance. Even strength training, depending on the activity that you're doing. But the reason that balance is so important is that as we get older, we get more fragile. as much as we keep up the strength training and we keep up all of those things that are going to help our bone density, we are still aging and need to consider uh, our health in the long term. So if you can focus on things that will benefit you, then you are going to be better off in the long run. And balance is one of those things. As you get older, as I said, you're more fragile. So if you fall, you do more damage. So making sure that you have more balance is going to help prevent falls in the future. So think about that as you're trying to figure out what will make you want to move more. Perhaps you're someone like me who prefers to do several different things in order to like fulfill all of those requirements, and that makes it in some ways easier to identify the activity that works best for me, because I'm separating them all out. In terms of if you want to combine them all into one thing, then there are definitely different style classes, different styles of training that will be beneficial to you, and you just have to identify them. If you are someone like, dancing is a brilliant thing to kind of fit all of those things into. You use a lot of, depending on the style of dance, obviously. I'm not sure how much line dancing helps, but it will still be beneficial to you in some ways because you're moving, and you're still getting impact from jumping around a bit in your line dancing formation. It might not necessarily build your strength training, but it is going to get your heart rate up and do all that sort of thing. Probably build a little bit of mobility and a little bit of balance. So it's a little bit of most of the things. And you just have to think about it that way. So when you're looking at different activities, think about what aspects of those 4 fundamentals that are built into that activity, and then what can you do to supplement that activity to pick up whatever fundamentals you've left out. So this is just a general chat today, a bit about finding what makes you want to move more. Just remember that things aren't limited. You could go rock climbing, you could go hiking, you could go skiing, you could go, well, maybe not all year round. You could go swimming. You can do all sorts of things that don't necessarily involve you having to be in a gym, and you could supplement that with a little bit of lifting weights at home. So it's all good. All movement is good. The more you move, the better. Try to move for at least 150 minutes at a moderate pace per week, or you could increase that to, you could instead do 75 minutes of intense exercise per week, or a combination of the two to try and achieve really good health outcomes. 2 lots of strength training is generally recommended. It can be resistance bands, or it can be actual weights. Any form of resistance, even body weight, will help depending on the type of activity that you're trying to do. Because remember, like a lot of the time, if you're using your hands and you're doing a press up, for example, you're actually probably putting more weight through than you would be doing a chest press. So just depending on what level you're at. So consider all of those sorts of things as you're trying to find the activity that suits you. And if you have any questions, drop them below, or you can go over to the Body.Engaged website and you can comment there. And otherwise, if you fancy it, you want to try a few different activities, sign up to our 7-day free trial, or we have our 12-week Body.Engaged Engaged for Life program coming up starting in February. And yeah, we really want to see you there because we really want to help you with your general fitness and general nutrition going forward. And myself and Andrea will be there to support you and give you as much information as possible, because we want you to be in charge of your own health. And by giving you the tools that you need in order to do that, that is what we hope will get you there. All right. Speak to you soon. Bye.